Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Today, again, we have with us an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan to discuss about the Gayatri Homam, which was performed at the Pratapa Ganapati Temple in Art of Living Shri Shri Gurukul in presence of Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji this August. So, can you share the significance of conducting the Gayatri Homam at Pratapa Ganapati Temple this year? Yes, Jai Gurudev, the Gayatri Homam at Pratap Ganapati Temple this year was truly historic and deeply spiritual. The temple, located within the Sri Sri Gurukul, carries the energy of Vedic learning and devotion, making it the perfect setting for this sacred fire ritual. Gayatri Homam invokes the universal Mother Gayatri Devi, who embodies wisdom, light, and purity. When performed in the presence of Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji, the vibrations were magnified, spreading positivity across the entire ashram. This year's Homam was dedicated to global peace, ecological balance, and individual transformation, aligning perfectly with the Art of Living's vision. Now, what is the spiritual essence of Gayatri Homam according to the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan? From a Vedic perspective, Gayatri is the mother of all mantras and is considered the life force of Dharma. Performing Gayatri Homam purifies the mind, intellect, and environment. The mantra itself, Om Bhurбhuva Swaha Tat Saviturvarenyam, is a universal prayer invoking divine light to dispel ignorance and awaken higher consciousness. At the Pratapa temple, surrounded by sacred geometry and Vedic chants, the ritual became a bridge between ancient wisdom and contemporary seekers. The fire offering symbolized surrendering negativity and receiving divine energy. Such homums are not just rituals but transformative spiritual experiences, uplifting both participants and the collective consciousness. Now, how did the presence of His Holiness Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankarji influence the Homam? Gurudev's presence is a blessing beyond words. Whenever he attends a Vedic ritual, the energy multiplies exponentially. During this Gayatri Homam, thousands sat in meditative silence as Gurudev guided them inward. His deep presence turned the Homam into a living experience of the Gayatri Mantra itself. He emphasized that rituals are not mere customs but pathways to experience the vastness of consciousness. As the mantras echoed and offerings were made, many devotees reported profound inner stillness and a sense of universal connection. Gurudev's grace transformed the ceremony into a collective spiritual awakening, radiating peace far beyond the temple walls. Now, could you explain the Vedic procedures followed during this year's Gayatri Homam? Yes, the Homam followed strict Vedic injunctions as laid down in the Shrauta and Samartha traditions. It began with the Ganapati Puja for removing obstacles, followed by Sankalpa, where intentions for world peace and personal purification were taken. The priest then invoked Gayatri Devi through mantra japa, mudras, and nyasa. Oblations of ghee, herbs, and samidas were offered into the sacred fire. With each repetition of the Gayatri mantra, the chanting of Rig, Yajur, and Sama Vedic mantras ensured multidimensional resonance. The ritual concluded with the Purnahuti and a collective chanting where participants symbolically offered themselves into the fire of knowledge and transformation. Now, how did the devotees and participants experience the Gayatri Homam? The atmosphere was electrifying yet serene. Participants shared that if they felt as though the entire cosmos had descended into the temple, many experienced deep meditation effortlessly during the chanting. Some reported emotional cleansing, while others felt a surge of energy and clarity. Families, students, and seekers from across the world attended, experiencing the unity of cultures and traditions. The collective chanting of the Gayatri Mantra created a vibrational field where individual prayers merged into a universal intention. Devotees left with renewed faith, inner calmness, and a sense of being connected to the eternal light of Gayatri Devi. Now, what is the larger purpose of performing such homums in the Art of Living ashram? Yes, the purpose is multifold. On a spiritual level, homums purify the subtle environment, uplifting consciousness and fostering inner peace. On a societal level, they bring harmony, unity, and collective healing. In today's times, where stress, ecological imbalances, and conflict dominate, Gayatri Homam serves as a powerful antidote. By invoking Gayatri, the mother of wisdom, we generate clarity, compassion, and sustainable thought patterns. The Art of Living Ashram with Gurudev's vision is not only reviving Vedic rituals, but also presenting them as tools for modern well being. Each homam becomes a beacon of hope, guiding humanity towards balance and light. Now, how does the Gayatri Homam connect with art of living practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation? Yes, Gayatri Homam and art of living practices complement each other beautifully. Sudarshan Kriya clears stress at the pranamaya kosha or the energy body, while Gayatri Mantra purifies the manomaya kosha or the mind. When both are practiced, the seeker experiences profound inner clarity and expansion. During the Homa, many participants who had done Kriya earlier slipped into meditation effortlessly as if the mantra carried them inward. Gurudev often says that Homam stars the environment while practices maintain the inner state. Together, they form a complete spiritual ecosystem where ritual, breath, and meditation guide seekers toward higher states of consciousness and bliss. So, what is the historical and cultural significance of Gayatri Homam in India? Gayatri Home has been performed since Vedic times. Sage Vishwamitra is credited with revealing the Gayatri Mantra, which became central to Vedic learning and Upanayana Samskara. Traditionally, it was performed to purify the intellect and awaken spiritual wisdom in students, kings, and seekers. The Homam was considered a bridge between human aspiration and divine grace. Even in epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata, Gayatri worship is praised for granting strength and clarity by reviving such rituals in the modern era. Art of Living and Gurudev are reconnecting seekers to this ancient heritage, ensuring timeless wisdom remains accessible today. Now, how does Gayatri Homam contribute to ecological and environmental balance? Yes, Vedic homams are not just symbolic but scientific in their effect. The herbs, ghee, and samidas offered during Gayatri Homam purify the air and have antiseptic qualities. The chanting of mantras generates healing vibrations that positively impact water, air, and consciousness. Modern research shows that such rituals can reduce bacterial counts in the environment and enhance pranic energy fields at the ashram. This homam was dedicated to Mother Earth, invoking balance in the five elements. Gurudev often emphasizes that our inner pollution creates outer pollution. Thus, Gayatri Homam heals both the ecology around and the ecology within. Now, what role does the Sri Sri Gurukul play in preserving Vedic traditions like Gayatri Homam? Yes, Jai Gurudev, Sri Sri Gurukul is a living embodiment of the Guru Shishya Parampara. Here, children and young Vedic scholars learn Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Atharvedas with equal depth. Along with modern education, the Gurukul has become a center where sacred knowledge is not just preserved but practiced. Rituals like Gayatri Homam allow students to participate actively, experiencing the vibrational power of the mantras they study. When such homams are performed in Gurukul, they serve as both education and inspiration under Gurudev's vision. Sri Sri Gurukul ensures that ancient Vedic sciences remain vibrant, relevant, and impactful in today's world. So, can you describe the collective energy felt during the chanting of Gayatri Mantra at the Homam? It was beyond words. Thousands of voices chanting the Gayatri Mantra in unison created a wave of spiritual resonance. The rhythm of the mantra synchronized with the beating of hearts, creating a collective heartbeat of humanity. Many described it as bathing in pure light. Even those unfamiliar with Sanskrit felt its vibrations working deeply within. Gurudev explained that sound is energy, and when chanted collectively, Gayatri opens the inner eye of wisdom. The collective energy not only purified the participants but radiated outward, touching every corner of the ashram and beyond, uplifting all beings in unseen yet profound ways. Now, what does the Gayatri Devi symbolize for seekers in the modern age? Gayatri Devi is the embodiment of divine wisdom and motherly compassion. In the modern age, where confusion and distraction dominate, her mantra acts like a guiding light. She symbolizes clarity in thought, purity in action, and courage in spirit. For seekers navigating work stress, societal pressures, and ecological challenges, Gayatri Devi is the reminder that true strength lies in inner wisdom. At the Pratapa Ganapati temple, Gurudev reminded us that Gayatri is not confined to a religion. She is universal consciousness that nurtures every seeker regardless of faith, guiding them towards peace, knowledge, and liberation. Now, how does the Gayatri Homam help in personal transformation of participants? As Gayatri Homam works at multiple levels of transformation. On a physical level, the ritual environment calms the nervous system. On an emotional level, the chanting dissolves stress, grief, and fear. At the intellectual level, Gayatri illuminates the mind, helping seekers make wise decisions. Spiritually, it aligns the individual with universal consciousness. Participants often share experiences of newfound clarity, deeper meditation, and inner stability after attending such homums. Gurudev says the fire of homam is not outside, it burns within us, consuming our limitations and awakening our true potential. Each participant leaves lighter, brighter, and more centered in the self. Now, how was the Gayatri Homam concluded and what was its final message? The Homam concluded with the Purna Ahuti, where the final offering symbolizes surrender of the entire ritual to the divine. Gurudev blessed the participants, emphasizing that the essence of Gayatri is living with awareness and wisdom in daily life. He reminded us that chanting Gayatri daily at sunrise and sunset keeps the light of consciousness alive. The final collective prayer was for world peace, harmony, and ecological well being. The message was clear: rituals are not ends in themselves, they are reminders of the inner fire we must keep alive, walking with wisdom, compassion, and responsibility towards society and nature. Now, looking forward, what is the vision of continuing Gayatri Homam at the Art of Living Ashram? The vision is to make such homums a global environment and movement for collective healing. Gurudev envisions a revival of Vedic practices not as rigid traditions but as universal tools for modern life. Regular Gayatri homums at the ashram and across centers worldwide will keep radiating peace and wisdom. That they will inspire seekers to integrate mantra chanting, meditation, and seva into daily life. The ashram becomes not only a spiritual retreat but a center of light for the world. Through Gayatri Homam, Gurudev's mission continues, bridging ancient wisdom with the modern relevance, creating a harmonious and enlightened global community. So, could you share a devotee's personal experience from the Gayatri Home this year? One devotee from Maharashtra shared that she came burdened with family worries and health concerns. During the chanting of Gayatri Mantra, she felt as if a heavy load was lifted from her chest. Tears rolled down, but instead as of sadness, she experienced immense relief and gratitude. After the home, she said her mind was quiet for the first time in years. Gurudev blessed her and reminded that when surrender happens, healing flows. Stories like hers reflect that Gayatri Homam is not just ritual, it is a direct grace, transforming lives in ways logic cannot measure but the heart can feel. How did the Sri Sri Gurukul students participate in the Homam? The Gurukul students played a very central role. They chanted the mantras with the flawless pronunciation and deep devotion. For many young students, it was their first time assisting in such a large scale Gayatri Homam in the presence of Gurudev. They prepared the samidas, offered oblations, and helped maintain the sanctity of the ritual. Witnessing their discipline and innocence touched everyone's heart. Gurudev said that these children are the torchbearers of Vedic knowledge, and by participating, they are not just learning but living the tradition. The Homam became both a lesson and a celebration of their spiritual journey. So, were there any international participants, and how did they perceive the Homam? Yes, seekers from more than 20 countries joined. Many of them had never witnessed a Vedic ritual before, yet they felt deeply connected. A participant from Germany shared that though she couldn't understand the Sanskrit, she felt as if every chant was directly speaking to her heart. Another from Brazil said, the fire felt alive and breathing, radiating love. Gurudev explained the true transcends language. The vibration of Gayatri is universal. The presence of global seekers reflected how Art of Living has made Vedic wisdom accessible worldwide, uniting people beyond cultural and linguistic boundaries in the spirit of light. Now, how do Gayatri, Humam, and Seva or selfless service connect in Gurudev's vision? Gurudev often emphasizes that spiritual practice and seva must go hand in hand. The light of Gayatri within us must express itself in compassionate action. After the Homa, many participants engaged in seva activities, planting trees, helping in ashram kitchens, and volunteering for upcoming rural projects. This reflects the true essence of the ritual, not just sitting in prayer, but living in service. Gayatri awakens wisdom, and wisdom naturally flows into kindness and responsibility towards society. Thus, the homam becomes complete only when its energy translates into seva, creating ripples of peace and well being in the world around us. Now, what was Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar Ji's final blessing to the participants? Gurudev, with his radiant smile, blessed everyone, saying, let the light of Gayatri shine in your hearts always. Wisdom is not just knowledge, it is the ability to stay centered amidst challenges, to see beyond differences, and to serve with love. He reminded us to chant Gayatri daily during Sandhya three times and to carry the peace of the Homam into our homes, workplaces, and communities. With the folded hands, thousands bowed in silence, carrying his words like mantras. His blessing was not just heard but experienced a transmission of energy that left everyone uplifted, inspired, and deeply grateful. Now, how did families and children experience the Gayatri Homam? Families felt blessed to attend together. Parents shared that their children, usually restless, sat quietly throughout the chanting, absorbed in the rhythm of the mantra. One young boy from Delhi told his mother that he saw light everywhere when he closed his eyes during the fire ritual. Gurudev often emphasizes introducing children to mantras early as they purify impressions and instill calmness. For families, attending the Homam was not just an event but a shared journey of devotion. They felt the sacred vibrations would continue to protect their households and guide their children towards values and wisdom. Now, could you elaborate on the symbolic meaning of offerings in the Gayatri Homam? Each offering in the homum carries a profound symbolism. Ghee represents purity and surrender. Herbs symbolize healing and transformation. Samidas or wood sticks symbolize the ego being burned in the fire of knowledge. The flames signify the presence of Agni Deva who carries our prayers to the cosmos. Offering Gayatri Mantra with each ahuti or oblations is a reminder that we are offering our inner negativities and seeking illumination. In this way, the ritual is both external and internal, an outer fire ceremony and an inner purification process. When performed with awareness, every offering becomes an act of self surrender and awakening. So, how does Gayatri Human bridges science and spirituality? Yes, the Gayatri Mantra is a vibration that works like a tuning fork for human consciousness. Modern neuroscience suggests that repetitive chanting impacts brainwave patterns, enhancing focus and calmness. Similarly, humum fire alters atmospheric ions, purifying the air. Scientists who visited our ashram observed changes in energy fields and positive mood shifts among participants. Gurudev often says true spirituality is scientific and true science is spiritual. Gayatri Humam demonstrates this, combining sound, fire, intention, and community into a powerful experience that uplifts the individual and environment. It bridges ancient wisdom with the modern science in a way seekers can easily experience. Were there any special highlights unique to this year's Gayatri Home? Yes, this year's Homam had several unique features. Firstly, it was performed during a highly auspicious alignment of lunar and solar energies, magnifying the benefits. Secondly, Gurukul students presented a Vedic chanting performance before the ritual, which deeply moved everyone. Thirdly, Gurudev himself led a short meditation during the Homam, guiding participants into silence. The temple was beautifully decorated with flowers, lamps, and sacred rangolis, creating a divine atmosphere. Another special highlight was the inclusion of prayers for global healing, especially for regions facing conflict and natural calamities, making the ritual not just local but universally relevant. Now, how do such rituals strengthen the bond between tradition and modern seekers? Modern seekers often look for meaning beyond religion. They seek a direct experience. Rituals like Gayatri Humam, when guided by Gurudev, provide exactly that. Instead of being dry customs, they become living, breathing experiences of energy, silence, and joy. Many young professionals who attended said that they had never connected with rituals before, but this one felt deeply personal. Gurudev bridges the gap by explaining the essence, not just the form. Thus, the homum doesn't remain an ancient practice alone, it becomes a modern tool for stress relief, inner clarity, and connection. It binds seekers to their roots while empowering daily life. Now, how did the global art of living community participate in this Gayatri Homam? Though only a few thousand could attend in person, the Homam was live streamed to devotees worldwide on YouTube. Centers across Europe, America, Africa, and Asia gathered in satsangs, chanting Gayatri in unison with the ashram. This created a global wave of vibration transcending geography. Messages poured in from seekers saying they felt connected as if they were sitting inside Pratapa temple itself. Gurudev reminded that energy knows no boundaries, sincere intention bridges distances. This year, the Homam became a global celebration of light, showing how Vedic rituals can unite humanity across continents in collective prayer and healing. How do you see the role of Gayatri Homam in the future of humanity? Humanity today faces crises of stress, conflict, and environmental imbalance. Gayatri Homam offers a holistic solution. It purifies the mind, heals communities, and harmonizes the environment. In Gurudev's vision, such rituals will become more frequent, integrated with meditation, seva, and wisdom sessions. The home serves as a reminder that ancient sciences hold answers for modern challenges. As people experience its transformative power, it will spread globally not as a religious activity, but as a universal practice for peace. The role of Gayatri Homam is to awaken collective wisdom, ensuring humanity evolves towards light, harmony, and higher consciousness. Now, what inner transformation do priests and Vedic scholars themselves experience while conducting the Gayatri Homam? For us priests, the Gayatri Homam is not just a ritual performed for others, it is also a sadhana. Each chant purifies the chanter, each offering burns personal impurities. While conducting the Homam, we enter into deep states of concentration and devotion. The fire reflects our own inner fire, reminding us of the responsibility to remain pure instruments of the divine. In the presence of Gurudev, the experience is magnified. We feel blessed to be mediums of Vedic wisdom, transmitting energy from the scriptures to the seekers. It is a privilege and a spiritual rebirth every time. Now, how did the atmosphere of Pratapa Ganapati temple enhance the ritual? Yes, the temple itself, Jai Gurudev, is a masterpiece of sacred architecture dedicated to Lord Ganesha. It radiates positivity and stability, removing obstacles for all seekers. There is the statue of Vishnu Narayana as well, along with the Panchamukhi Ganapati. The acoustics of the temple amplified the chanting, making every mantra resound in the heart. Surrounded by nature, the temple seemed to breathe with the rhythm of the Homam. Many participants felt that they were in a different realm altogether, where time slowed down and only the sacred remained. Gurudev often says that when rituals happen in such sanctified spaces, their effect multiplies. The temple became a womb of light, nurturing everyone present with a divine grace. Now, can you share an example of healing or transformation after attending Gayatri Homam? Yes, a devotee from Andhra Pradesh had been suffering from severe anxiety and sleeplessness for months. She attended the Homam with faith but with a little expectation. During the ritual, she felt her heartbeat calm and her mind go silent. That very night, she slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. She later shared with us, it was not medicine but mantra that healed me. Gurudev explained that Gayatri connects us to the source of inner light, which naturally restores balance in body and mind. Such stories are common. Gayatri Homam often acts as a catalyst for profound holistic healing. Now, how does Gayatri Homam align with the values of art of living like Seva, Sadhana, and Satsang? As Gayatri Homam beautifully embodies the art of living pillars, sadhana happens through the chanting, meditation, and offerings. Satsang happens as thousands come together in devotion and joy. Seva happens as the energy generated translates into social work, community upliftment, and service projects. Gurudev always reminds us that spirituality is incomplete without seva. After the Homa, many participants immediately engaged in volunteer activities, channeling the energy they received into action. Thus, Gayatri Homam becomes not just a spiritual practice, but a complete expression of art of living values, connecting inner light with the outer service in harmony. Now, what message does Gayatri Homam give to future generations? The message is simple yet profound. Wisdom is timeless and light must always be nurtured. In a world driven by technology and speed, future generations risk losing touch with their roots. Gayatri Homam teaches them to pause, to connect with nature, with fire, with sound, and with silence. It shows that ancient traditions are not obsolete but essential for balance. Gurudev often says, without wisdom, progress becomes dangerous. The Homam reminds the young that true progress is when external achievements are balanced by inner clarity. It gives them heritage, stability, and a connection to universal consciousness. Now, how does Gayatri Homam strengthen the global movement of peace initiated by Gurudev? Yes, Jai Gurudev. Gurudev has always emphasized peace as a collective responsibility. Gayatri Homam is one of the most powerful tools in the mission. In this mission, when thousands stand together with intention, it creates a wave of coherence in collective consciousness, reducing aggression and fostering harmony. Research shows group meditation reduces crime rates in cities, Imagine the effect of mass Gayatri chanting. This year's Homam was offered for global healing with special prayers for regions in conflict. It aligned perfectly with the Gurudev's vision of a stress free, violence free world. Each Homam adds momentum to this global peace movement, making spirituality practical and impactful. So, how did Gurudev explain the essence of Gayatri Mantra during the Homam? Yes, Gurudev shared that Gayatri is not just a mantra but a vision. It is a prayer for illumination, asking the divine to awaken our intellect and guide us towards the truth. He said the mantra teaches us humility, that wisdom does not belong to us but flows through us when we align with the cosmic light. He also emphasized chanting Gayatri daily, not as a burden but as a joy, like basking in this morning sun. In his presence, the mantra came alive, not words to be recited but vibrations to be lived every moment. Now, what lasting impression did this year's Gayatri Homam leave on participants? The participants carried home more than memories, they carried light. Many shared that the silence they experienced lingered for days. Some said their relationships became smoother, conflicts softened, and clarity dawned in their decisions. The children who attended felt proud of their culture, while international seekers felt they had discovered a universal treasure. Above all, everyone felt a sense of belonging or being part of something vast and timeless. The home planted seeds of wisdom in every heart, ensuring that the sacred fire continues to burn within, guiding their lives towards compassion, clarity, and inner strength. So, if you had to summarize the Gayatri Home in one message, what would it be? The message of Gayatri Homam is simple yet profound. Let your life be guided by light, not shadows. In the presence of Gurudeva amidst the chants and sacred fire, we realized that a wisdom is not an abstract concept, it is the way we live daily. Gayatri teaches us to rise above ignorance, to act with clarity, and to serve with love. This year's Sumam reminded us that when individuals awaken, society transforms. When society awakens, the world shines bright. The essence is illumination of mind, heart, and spirit, so that every being may walk the path of peace and harmony. So, how does Gayatri Homam connect to the ancient Gurukul tradition at Sri Gurukul? The Gayatri Homam is inseparable from the Gurukul tradition. In ancient times, when students received Upanayana, they were initiated into Gayatri Mantra chanting, which became the foundation of their spiritual and intellectual growth. At Sri Gurukul, performing Gayatri Homam in the presence of Gurudev is not just a ritual, it's a revival of this timeless system of Vedic learning. The sacred vibrations help purify the atmosphere, strengthen the focus of young minds, and establish a direct connection between students, teachers, and the cosmic intelligence. Now, what role did His Holiness Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankar play during the Homam? Gurudev's presence itself was the greatest blessing of this year's Gayatri Homam. He not only blessed the ritual but also guided the participants in understanding the deeper meaning behind the mantras. His serene presence elevated the entire environment. Many participants felt a profound silence and expansion within. Gurudev often emphasizes that Gayatri is not merely a chant but a vibration that awakens higher consciousness. His guidance reminded everyone that rituals are not mechanical but living conscious acts when performed with devotion and awareness. This is what made the Homam extraordinarily powerful. Now, how does chanting Gayatri Mantra during the Homam benefit participants in daily life? Chanting Gayatri Mantra during the Homam energizes both the mind and body. It activates subtle energy, sharpens intellect, and enhances clarity of thought. Participants often report improved focus, reduced stress, and heightened intuition. In daily life, this translates to better decision making, emotional balance, and resilience. For students at the Gurukul, it strengthens memory and learning capacity. For householders, it creates harmony at home. For spiritual seekers, it becomes a path to self realization. The collective chanting during the Homa multiplies these benefits, showering blessings upon the individual, community, and environment alike. Jai Gurudev.